behind the grade school at Keensburg, Illinois, strange objects rise above the trees. They are symbols of a great industry, steel towers that stand for a magic word, oil. Yes, they've struck it rich at Keensburg, and you'll find wells all along Main Street. As we draw nearer to the newest and most active oil field in the United States, we see a familiar trademark on engines and tractors. And here we are in the very thick of the fight, where a wild well must be capped, and men match their skill against the pent-up forces of nature. It's a long, bitter fight, but slowly and surely, brain triumphs over brawn. Oil, like gold, is where you find it, and finding it has long been a baffling problem. But scientific instruments, like the seismograph, are now replacing guesswork. Delicate electric pickups called geophones are connected to a cable that runs to the instrument truck. A shot hole is drilled in the middle of the line of geophones, and a small charge of dynamite is lowered into it by means of a sectional rod. When the shot is fired, a wave front is sent deep into the earth. These waves bounce back from underground formations and are recorded on a chart which shows the depth of promising oil areas. Drilling comes next, and sometimes the land must be cleared before derricks and machinery can be moved in. Here's a job that's literally a pushover for a tractor and bulldozer. First, the trees and undergrowth are uprooted, and then they're shoved out of the way by the mighty tractor and blades. Other drilling sites may have no timber, but there's always the problem of moving in the drill rig. This was a real problem until the track-type tractor, equipped with a Heister winch, proved its ability to skid derricks straight across country from one job to the next. Slush pits must be dug as soon as the drill rig is spotted, and a Traxxon high shovel, mounted on a tractor, is a fine tool for this work. Its large bucket quickly digs, carries, and dumps the earth. Tractors and bulldozers make another fine team for slush pit construction, and when the pit is dug the exact width of the blade, little dirt is lost by spilling around the ends. Now comes drilling, and again we find Caterpillar diesels at work. This rotary rig and mud pump are driven by two 125-horsepower engines. Day and night the drill bites deep into the earth. And day and night the pumps force mud down through the drill stem as a 3,000-foot well is dug in only 25 days. It takes real men to stand up to work like this. And it takes real engines to handle 60,000-pound loads week after week. It takes real equipment, too, and the combination of all three gives a job that runs like clockwork every minute of every day. It runs the same way at night, too, because once a drill rig starts, they keep going 24 hours a day until the well is down to the required depth, and these rigs do keep going. Day and night parts and mechanical service from nearby dealers backs up the day and night performance of these engines all over the oil fields and assures freedom from costly delays. When a drill rig must be dismantled and moved to a new location, a large diesel tractor equipped with a boom has what it takes to do the job. It can cross rough country or wade through deep mud, carrying the heavy derrick sections to a new location or load them quickly onto a truck. Now let's look up at the crow's nest of a portable drill rig where we find a job that's no place for a dizzy man. But somebody must be up there to hook new sections of drill pipe onto the traveling blocks, and the minute they're attached, they're run down into the well. A square joint of pipe, called a Kelly, is screwed into the top of the drill pipe. The Kelly runs through the rotary table and thus turns the drill stem. Mud is pumped down the drill stem to keep the bit cool and up to the surface to lubricate the stem and carry cuttings away. Here's another use for our old friend the bulldozer, cutting a rod line through the hill so that a new well can be pumped by a central power unit. When the job is completed, the tractor climbs onto an oil field trailer as nimbly as a cat. The driver swings it around, sets the brake, and away it goes to the next task on its day and night schedule. Out at the tank farms, we find a Trexan high shovel hard at work once more building firewalls. Nearby, a number 12 motor grader is reshaping an oil field road. First, it cleans out the ditches. Then it rebuilds the crown so that heavy rains can't hamper heavy hauling and mud is banished from the highways. Hills become mountains in the Pennsylvania oil fields, and that means tracks on the tractors that do the well servicing. It also means an oil field winch to pull the rods and tubing. Such a unit gets the job done in a hurry, and the owner says it takes more fuel to keep the boys' hands clean than it does to run the tractor. A winch-equipped tractor also comes in mighty handy when loaded trucks get stuck on steep grades. Just wind them in on the cable over the worst spots, and then throw in the clutch and carry them right around the mountain. Now we come to pipeline work, where we find an R4 tractor and caliper pipeline plow uncovering an old line for inspection and doping. The same tractor then lifts the pipe out of the ditch with a side boom. After the servicing is finished, it will lower it into position again to complete its third task on this project. Then it swings around and backfills the ditch with its front-mounted blade. So 4 jobs are done by one tractor on this speedy, profitable operation. Tractors are equally useful in laying a new pipeline. Here's a D8 and Laterno bulldozer clearing a path for the ditcher on a gas line across southern Indiana. This is a real Caterpillar job, so the Buckeye ditcher is powered by a 125 horsepower diesel engine that digs a deep, wide trench at the rate of 15 feet a minute. When the country gets too rough for the ditcher, a Lorraine clamshell does the excavating, and a speedy, accurate job it makes of it. It also uses Caterpillar diesel power, and this standardization cuts down service problems. Now let's go out on the firing line. That's where the pipe is being laid, and that's where those diesel tractors and side booms are doing everything imaginable. After carrying the long sections of 24-inch pipe to location, they lower them into welding position and hold the ends flush while an expert workman joins the sections with a strong gas-tight weld. Those yellow tractors keep right on coming, conquering hills and dangerous footing to bring their heavy cargoes of pipe onto the firing line. When a hot bend oven dangles from the side boom, you can be sure the line is crossing rough country where some major operations must be performed. And the country is rough, steep hills and deep hollows as far as the eye can see. So the large diameter pipe must be bent to fit, and here's how it's done. The oven heats the section where the bend is to be made, and then the ends are pulled inward, just like bending a stick over your knee. Cool the pipe off, and there you are, a section tailor-made to fit the country. The next question is getting the pipe into the ditch, but that's no question at all when those hill-climbing, go-getting diesels are on the job. Some builders prefer a bolted coupling to join the long sections of pipe. Others specify welded joints, but whichever they want, the tractors move the pipe into position for stabbing and stand by to lower it into the ditch. Now comes backfilling, which on this job is done with another tractor equipped with a special side boom and backfiller. Cold bending is used to shape smaller pipe. One or more tractors and side booms hook on at the right places. Then they start pulling, and presto, there's the curve that fits the contour. Pipe is cut to length and squared up on the ends by a special torch that slices through the steel as though it were cheese. On another section of the line, a side bend is needed, so again the tractors team up to make it. And when those diesels say, "Come along," there's no use hanging back. Tractors must take conditions as they find them on a pipeline job. And here we see one handling a cleaning machine on pipe that will be laid under a creek. After cleaning comes wrapping, and another special machine encases the pipe in a protective covering while the cradle tractor holds it. Then the pipe is lowered into the ditch, and a tractor and bulldozer do the backfilling. Pipeline builders know that a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points, but sometimes that straight line takes you through country that soon tells you what kind of equipment you own. That's the kind of country they ran into on the new line between Laramie, Wyoming and Salt Lake City, and here's the kind of tractors they chose to do the dirty work. They went through everything, including high water, carrying on when other equipment was helpless, to complete one of the roughest, toughest pipelines ever laid. The same dependable diesel power is right on the job after the pipelines are ready to deliver crude oil from the wells to the refinery. 9 Caterpillar diesels stand shoulder to shoulder in the pumping station of the Central States Pipeline Company near Salem, Illinois, to send over 2 million gallons of crude oil speeding towards the refinery each 24-hour day. As we near the end of the petroleum trail, we find Caterpillar diesel electric sets supplying the power for fine filling stations, thus performing a final vital service for refiner, retailer, and motorist alike, and proving that here is power built by one manufacturer, sold and serviced by one nearby dealer, that truly goes all the way with oil.